Hey, what's up guys? Joe here from Right Way. I just want to briefly touch on another section on owner finance, and this is adding it to your offers to your homeowners, right? So we already know here at Right Way, we have multiple strategies, right? We have a wholesale offer, or you'll hear a cash offer, and if our offer is more than what their underlying lien is, then subject to might be a good offer, right? Let's say they're getting foreclosed on, but no investor is going to pay for it, and we covered this in another episode. Maybe subject to is one of our offers. Maybe listing is an offer. If you're not a licensed agent, then you should be building relationships with agents in your market area where you can monetize that lead for them, right? Get some kind of cutback from there. And another one is an owner finance offer. Now, it's true that an owner finance offer is going to work better on a free and clear property, but it's not saying that you can't do an owner finance offer on one that still has an underlying lien. But for argument's sake, let's say this property is free and clear, okay? Let's say it's a listing where it got terminated, okay? And the owner was just hell-bent on getting $200,000 for their property. Or let's say $150,000 for that property. They listed it on the MLS. They didn't reduce the price. It didn't sell. Okay, so they decided to just hang on to the property, but the property is not rented. It's still causing them a headache. They're still paying the PITI on the property, but it just didn't sell. Okay, but let's go to that homeowner, and in a lot of cases, maybe it's that they had this $150,000 in their mind, but they weren't going to sell it for anything less. But it's not that they need a huge lump sum of cash. They wanted to get $150,000 for their property. Well, if I approach this homeowner and say, hey, let me do this, I'll actually give you above what you were asking. How does that sound? You were asking for $150,000. It didn't sell. I'll give you $160,000. But here's the caveat. I want to finance this property over 15 years or 20 years or 30 years. Or you got to play around with the numbers and figure out what works. So I will give you $5,000 down, right? Then I'm going to actually give you a couple percentage points on that. So let's say I will pay you off over 15 years, okay, at 2% interest. So now what am I going to do with the property? Well, I have multiple exit strategies. If you watch the previous owner finance video, you'll see that we could sell this property for more, and we could take down a good deposit and we'd still be cash flowing. So you can sell it via owner finance, when essentially you're just wrapping his note because now he's the note holder to you, or you could rent it. Maybe it's in a good appreciating area. Let's say your PITI to your homeowner was only $800, but check the rental comps in the neighborhood for properties with the same condition, right? Let's say your rents are $1,300. Well, now great. Now for a very little amount out, I have a property that I am making, substantial cash flow on. That's also a great strategy. So you can owner finance, or you can rent that property out. So owner finance all comes down to what the rent is in the area, right? You are structuring when you sell it via owner finance to be as similar to your PITI, to be as similar to the market rents in the area. So this really gives you flexibility to play around with your numbers. And if you're watching this as part of our course, we include the owner finance calculator within the course, and we're also happy to help you calculate these to see how you should structure it, right? You can play around with the purchase price or your interest rate to get as close to the PITI as possible. And the real theory behind that is that people, they obviously prefer home ownership much more than they do renting a property. So if they are covering all their payments that is similar to the rent, it's a no-brainer, okay? So that gives you a lot of flexibility of how to structure your offer compared to what you could buy it at owner finance. So again, a very powerful strategy. You really got to figure out in wholesale and in this industry how to monetize every lead. You got to be able to look at that homeowner situation, look at all the numbers, and evaluate what's better, right? We also forgot to add wholesale up here. So when I'm looking at the property, if the wholesale offer didn't match his 150,000, you know, what can I do to potentially still make this a deal? How can I make it work for me? And that's where a lot of wholesalers go wrong. They're going to offer them the 75 or 78% minus repair, and he's not going to accept it because he's hell-bent on getting 150. Well, let's get creative. Let's get creative and figure out, is a wholesale offer better? Is an owner finance offer better? And structure it that way. You're going to get a lot more deals. So this is really owner finance, how you can put that in your arsenal when you're making the offers to the homeowner.